Hello, good morning. Can we hear me clearly? Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we are hearing you.
Good morning.
Yes, we can hear you. Good morning.
Awesome. Thank
Go
you very
ahead.
much. Good morning. Let me just screen share now. So I'm just sharing my screen in a second. So can you just signify if you can see my screen coming through, please? So I'm sure we're all engaging. Is my screen coming through?
Yes, we can see it clearly.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So good morning, everyone. Hello and welcome. I'm thrilled to be here with you today, taking us on an exciting adventure to navigating the future of business. Together, we will unravel the secrets of agility and how it can be the key to unlocking unparalleled digital success. So I'd like you to fasten your seatbelt and get ready to dive into this engaging discussion, buzzing with insights and innovative strategies that will empower you to navigate the digital landscape like never before. And just like it's been said in the welcome address and the opening speech remarks, I'd like you all to really connect and engage with me on this with all your reactions. If you want to interrupt me with any question, that's fine, that's welcome. We'll take that as much as we can within the confines of time that we have. So now let's transform with agility and purpose. What exactly is digital transformation? It actually refers to the integration of sort of digital technology into all areas of your business and fundamentally changing the way your organization operates and deliver value to customers. And even more so, it's a cultural change. I'd like to emphasize that a very much important cultural change that requires every organization to continually challenge their status quo and experiment and get comfortable with failure. Because if you don't get into that space, you'll get left behind in this day that we are all working in. So put all of that into one single slide. Digital transformation is essentially from this to this. And now I'd like you to quickly take your mobile phone out and I want to take a quick poll and ask a question. What do you think Agile is? So if you could just scan that QR code, it will take you to the Menti page. And I want to see your response on what you actually think Agile is. And I'll give us like 1 minute for that. And I'm going to be timing that now. So quickly, what is Agile? Waiting for you guys. This is supposed to be engaging. So let's have some responses coming through. Are we able to scan the QR code?
Yes.
Right, okay. So what is Agile? So can we have our participants get unmuted if they can just shout out what they think Agile is? quickly, please, just for 30 seconds.
Maybe you can refresh because I've sent in some responses, so it could be a
Me
network
too.
thing.
Me too. I sent some responses also.
Okay. Yeah, just shout it out here. That's fine. That should be fine. What is Agile? Can I have some responses from
So nimble,
Yes.
adaptable,
nimble, adaptable?
iterative.
Good. Iterative. Yeah, all of that is
Calibration.
good. Calibration, good.
I put it as a mindset.
Mindset.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, who is that? I can't see the
Ade.
names here. Ade, yeah. Our mindset, good. All right.
Yeah, set of values and principles.
Right. Practice and principles. Okay. You may have heard over the last few years that Agile is a methodology or techniques, for delivering software, development projects and all that. But it's more than just a method. And rather than just a method or a set of practices, it is actually a shift in mindset. And this shift is the overarching philosophy and values that underpin the methodology itself that we'll talk about today. It's beyond just its practices and tools. It's centered around being adaptable, collaborative, and emphasizing continuous improvement and customer centricity. And it's about how people think about and approach their work rather than just the specific methods that they use to do the work. So in that light, some of the key elements that characterize the Agile mindset shift, some of which I believe was Ifelua that touched upon that yesterday, are things around being ready for change and embracing changes, prioritizing their customer satisfaction and value with ongoing customer feedback, fostering a culture of teamwork and shared responsibility, because successful outcomes can actually arise from motivated individuals working together in a supportive environment, delivering value early and often, prioritizing work that delivers real value to the customer is the key element here. And that's what we should be focusing on in our development teams. Autonomy is believing in empowering teams to make decisions for themselves and self-organize. Because when you trust them, they will always be creative and they will always be motivated to do the right thing and be creative in their work. And the core part of Agile mentality or mindset is the commitment to continuous learning, both at an individual level, team level, and organization level. We looked into personal agility yesterday, some talk about leadership as well. It involves regular reflection on what's working and what is not, and encouraging that culture to do, putting it like a feedback loop where we continue to learn, inspect, and adapt, and make adjustments for improvement. And also, long-term success requires the team to work at a pace that they can sustain indefinitely without burning them out. You need to ensure that you maintain a healthy work-life balance for your teams. We cannot compromise quality when we talk about agility. High quality is non-negotiable at all. It emphasizes the importance of maintaining high standards throughout the development process and every bit of work that we do within the organization. And simplicity, that's the art of maximizing the amount of work not done. Let's focus on what truly matters to the customer and leave the rest, all the wishy-washies, the nice to haves, let them go away. So basically, this is what Agile mindset is all about. Now, organizational agility. Once we get to the point where we understand what agility is all about at an individual and a team level, it is very expedient that we push this mindset and ways of working to the entire organization, because it's not only for IT departments at all. Non-IT departments, they also play a crucial role in fostering and benefiting from business agility. You're looking at marketing and sales, where they can rapidly test and refine marketing strategies and sales tactics. They can respond to market trends quickly. They can even tailor their campaigns and sales effort more effectively using Agile. HR now use Agile to actually carry out talent management and recruitment, build workforce that's adaptable and skilled in the practices that is going to be accountable for the organization's success. In finance, we talk about Agile projects today, people burning budget, going over budget. but finance can use agility to streamline the budgeting and forecasting process and be more flexible. Use that iterative approach to actually carry out financial planning and budgeting that will align with the dynamic nature of our projects. And operations can always improve their process efficiencies as well and respond actively to things as needed. Customer service talk about rapidly addressing customer issues and continuously improving the processes, enhancing customer satisfaction and loyalty. And legal and compliance can enable the company adapt to, fast-changing regulatory and compliance matters in an agile manner. R&D can experiment and innovate iteratively and learn quickly from successes and failures. And procurement departments as well can also use agility to be a lot more collaborative and build that relationship with the suppliers and use a more adaptive approach to sourcing materials for the organization. So these and many more is where non-IT departments can embrace agile principles and contribute to creating an organizational structure that's flexible, responsive, customer-focused, and continuously improving. This holistic adoption of business agility ensures that the entire organization is well equipped to respond to market changes and innovate quickly and maintain that competitive edge that is needed. Why is digital transformation crucial today? That's a crucial question in itself, because organizations that leverage digital tools today are a lot better placed to be more competitive in the market because of their agility and customer centricity mindset. Today, digital transformation is crucial for organizations for several reasons. One being that the business landscape is more competitive than ever. And if you want to be able to compete with new players that are leveraging on digital capabilities and be able to disrupt traditional markets, you definitely need to transform digitally. We all know we as human beings, we keep changing every now and then. I can come to you now and say that I need a bottle of water. And just before you leave the door to get me with a bottle of water, I tell you, well, maybe not bottle of water anymore. Now I need a bottle of Coke. And when you come back with a bottle of Coke, I say, well, I just literally need a cup, not a large bottle. So because of this all evolving customer expectations, particularly in this day and age where digital has taken over everything, we need to be able to come to a place where personalized experience across digital channels is forming the basis of all our transformations. Digital transformation will enable your organization to meet those expectations through data analytics and other evolving technologies nowadays. AI is an example. And also, for you to be able to have enhanced collaboration and communication, digital tools, platforms will help you with all of these bits within the organization, with your stakeholders, with your customers, with your teams, and ultimately improve your overall productivity and effectiveness. With digital transformation, it opens up new markets and opportunities for you. It allows you to reach broader audience, not just within your city, not just within Nigeria, not even just Africa, beyond Africa and global, on a global basis, and operate effectively, with all your customers and stakeholders out there. Because now the world is a global village, and the only thing that brings us together is all of these technologies and digital landscape. Digital transformation as well will foster an environment of innovation and agility because it allows you to rapidly adapt to the changes in the market and experiment with new business models and innovate quickly with your product and service offerings. It is a necessity and not an option for organizations that are looking to thrive in a rapidly evolving technology-driven world today. For you to stay competitive, meet your customer expectations, achieve operational excellence, and drive sustainable growth, digital transformation is not an option. And given that, what are the consequences if you find yourself ignoring digital transformation? If you don't embrace this idea in this rapidly evolving business environment of the 21st century, these are the likely challenges that you're going to be facing. How many of us remember this? Just by your reactions, please, or shout it out. Do we remember this?
Yes, the videotapes.
Great stuff. This is the day of the VHS, and all those stuff, blockbusters where you have to go across the street, rent a, movie and return a few days later, and you carry all this, all about the place. But because they failed to adapt to what digital is doing at that point in time, they failed, to pretty much, inspect and ensure that they move their business away from the traditional model into what the new ways of working were. This is exactly what happened. They got eaten up by Netflix and all the, digitally transformed organizations. In today's world, we now have other competitors in that space like Amazon Prime, Paramount, Disney, and all this stuff. And Blockbuster is gone. Nobody uses VHS anymore, literally today. Same thing, for the Kodak and the Nokia. What they experienced was a dwindling market share because they failed to digitally transform. They failed to step into that journey, that train when it was moving past them. And lots and more are the consequences and the risks that you face as an organization if you fail to transform digitally. Number one, you suffer loss of competitive edge. What that means is you become less relevant in your market and you are unable to compete. Because without the advantages of digital tools and processes, you will struggle to compete on price, quality, speed of service, because changes are happening on a per second basis. And that will eventually lead to gradual loss of your market share. You will experience a diminished customer base because customer changes or customer requirements are changing. Modern consumers are expecting digital convenience, personalization, and rapid service. Because you are not in that place to offer this, you will suffer a loss in that sense. And your brand perception is also going to suffer because they now view companies that are non-digital as outdated and behind the times. So they move on to other companies and your competitors. Another consequence is reduced agility. What that means is you are slow to respond to market changes without that digital tools. You will be likely to deliver and respond slower to those changes. You will miss opportunities. You will fail to mitigate risks in a timely manner. And that means that you also find it very challenging to adapt your business models quickly in response to the disruptive changes in your industry. When you start to find competitors eating your market share, eating up your business, you're going to be finding yourself in a position where you're too slow to adapt and change quickly. That's what happened to Blockbuster. That's what happened to Kodak. They failed to adapt quickly when disruption overtook them. And the last one that I want to talk about on that point is missed opportunities for innovation and growth. Digital transformation is often a driver for innovation. That's what we know. So without it, your organization will find themselves lagging in developing products, services, or business models that suit customers of today. And you will be limited in terms of growth. You will face limitations exploring new markets or customer segments because you lack the digital reach and capabilities. You're talking about reaching consumers far beyond the remit of your zone, in a global space. But because you cannot literally be there every single day of the year to interact with your customers, it is only digital and technology that bridges that gap. So if you find yourself lagging in that sense, what that means is you cannot explore those new markets or customer segments. And these are serious consequences that you need to think about that is going to impact on your business if you don't jump on this train of digital transformation. Now that we know what agile and business agility is all about and what digital transformation is and the consequences of ignoring it in this digital age, let's take some time to talk about the crucial role that agile practices play in the journey of digital transformation. And you should know that it actually provides a flexible, iterative, and customer-focused approach to implementing changes and innovations, and they can significantly aid your organization in their journey towards digital transformation. So what's the role of agile practices in all of these bits and pieces? One, it enhances your flexibility and responsiveness through iterative development and continuous delivery. Break down that digital transformation journey into smaller, manageable iterations or sprints that will allow you for regular assessments and adaptation. It enables you to make quick response to changing market conditions and technological advancements, and taking on customer feedback as well. And also enables you to continuously deliver updates and improvements, ensuring that your digital transformation efforts keep at pace with the organizational needs and external changes. Customer-centric approach, using customer feedback and integrating that into your processes. Regular testing, feedback loops are embedded in your development process. It ensures that your digital solutions are aligned with customer needs and expectations. You can enable quick prototyping by testing and allowing businesses to refine needs and user experiences. And you also prioritize your initiatives based on what is value. And the value comes from the customer, the people that are going to be consuming your product and service. So it all ties back to that user feedback, understanding what is critical to them and using that to understand what's the next best thing to offer as a product or service offering. Collaboration and communication, building cross-functional teams. It's not just about IT, like I said earlier, business, marketing, sales, finance, and enables that collaboration exercise between all of these departments will promote the exploration and adoption of emerging technologies and will foster a holistic approach to your digital transformation journey, which ultimately ensures alignment with your overall business objectives and goals. Understanding a transparent communication, having those regular stand-ups, creating shared understanding and alignment of what's going on, visibility across the entire organization is key to keeping everyone aligned and informed about what we are going to do, where we are heading to, and ensures that everyone is on the same journey, heading towards the same place. Adaptability and risk management. Conducting early, frequent testing emphasizes the approach for you to actually be adaptable and use that, in terms of agility to perform some risk management on what you actually deliver. What I mean by that is that you can actually, de-risk a lot of initiatives as early as possible. Once you test and you discover that that's not the right thing to do, it's quick and easy to pivot at that point in time. You've not spent too much. You've not wasted effort, wasted money. You can quickly adapt your approach, and plan as well can be adjusted based on ongoing learning and changing circumstances. And that will ultimately reduce the risk of project failure. Continuous improvement and innovation. We need to understand that fostering a culture of experimentation and innovation as teams will encourage them to try new ideas in a controlled and iterative manner. It makes it easier to integrate and test new technologies within existing systems and see what works for us, what does not work, because not everything is going to work. So we need to understand what's going to work and what's not going to. And it's by testing those hypotheses early and understanding, learning from those successes or failures that can help us, to start to get onto that journey to digitally transform. Agile mindset, we talked about that earlier, often leads to a broader cultural shift within the organization towards embracing change, learning, collaboration, empowering your teams to make decisions and take ownership of their work and become more accountable. It's all about having that transformational change with the culture that exists within the organization. Once you get away from how we used to do things, we've been doing this for the last 30 years, to this is how we're going to be doing it. And it's not something that's going to take a day. That's why it's called a journey. You start from something as simple as possible, break it down into simpler chunks that you can simply implement and iterate upon and learn and know what's the next thing. Change. You can actually even adopt an agile approach. Use that methodology, create a backlog of things that you need to do, and start to walk down your backlog of what you have to do, until you get to, where you're going to. And it's not an end state. You continually evolve yourself because the world is continually changing on a day-to-day basis. And of course, I cannot discount the impact of data-driven decision-making. You need metrics that focus on measurable outcomes, encouraging decision-making process that's data-driven, evidence-based, and that you ensure that your data is shared. You are transparent with your data. You create that shared understanding and visibility, and use that effectively across teams and stakeholders. You need to let them know why you're taking a decision and what's the result outcome that you're expecting. So it's, in summary, basically, agile practices will provide you a framework that's inherently suited for digital transformation. This approach will help organizations to not only implement digital technologies effectively, but also to evolve their culture and processes in a way that supports long-term digital success. Again, I wanted to get out your mobile phone quickly. Like to, more like an icebreaker, play a quick game, Imagine you're an agile team, and I've given you these 4 different movie options. What do you think your favorite movie as a team would be? So you've got 1, Lord of the Stand-Ups, The Fellowship of the Sprint. And the second movie, The Fast and the Retrospective. The third movie is called Indiana Jones and the Backlog of Doom. And the last one, this is one for the Scrum Masters. It's called Sprint Wars. The Scrum Master Awakens. I think if we can unmute our participants just to shout out what's
The past and the retrospective. That sounds interesting.
great stuff, right? Yeah, we need to constantly inspect and adapt ourselves. As much as we are trying to sprint, go as fast as possible, take a break, pause. Are we doing the right thing? If yes, fine. If not, what can we do better?
Okay, I would go for Spirit Wars, the Scrum Master Awakens.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Well, I think it gives an image of an unveiling. Potentiality becomes more of dynamism. That's my own experience with that title.
Awesome. Scrum Master is called in when there are challenges within the sprint, within the team. That talks about the necessary set of skills that are required and not just chopping and changing things. Talent. Right, okay. This is something, that you could think about. And there's something in every of these titles, that talks about how we work together in an organization that's trying to adopt agility, and how we, plan and approach our journey, what we deliver as outcomes for our customers out there. So how do we adopt agile practices?
Sorry, Obori, we've had some responses in the chat group. One says, past and the retrospective for me, that is Constance Sekpere.
Yeah.
She also said continuous improvement is important to me. That's the response.
Awesome. Yeah. Continuous improvement. Yeah. That's the idea of retrospective. Great. Thanks, Connie, for that. Adopting agile practices. What does it really mean, as it is essential for organizations that are aiming to be at the forefront of digital transformation? Because adopting an agile mindset means openness to change, like we said earlier, focus on collaboration, committing to continuous improvement, learning, and all those bits and pieces. This shift can lead to being more responsive, efficient, and effective teams, and organizations capable of delivering greater value in rapidly changing environments. So I want to share with you quick steps that you can take in how you can adopt all of those agile practices. 1, get in a position where you are educating your team and stakeholders. Conduct workshops, training sessions, explain in first layman terms what agility is all about. Ensure everyone understands the importance of flexibility, collaboration, and customer focus. You need to assess where you are today. You need to understand what are the bottlenecks in your processes, in your business models, and where customer feedback is not regularly consulted, or incorporated. Evaluate your current workflows. Create more cross-functional teams. By that, I mean, not just from IT. Yes, within IT, you've got cross-functional skills, but cross-functional teams also goes beyond IT as well. Like I said earlier, let IT work together with marketing so that marketing will not go out there and promise, some campaigns that are not technically feasible. That's when silos are within the organization, when they are not talking to each other. Let sales not go and promise customers what is not business viable. So let teams start to break down the silos and the walls and start to work together. That's agile teams. And choose a framework. Decide on what framework works with your organization. It could be Scrum, it could be Kanban, it could be Lean, it could be Safe, it could be anything. Just pick on something that you can adapt to your organization and ensure that you make it work. And don't forget that you cannot achieve this overnight. It's not a big bang approach. You need to break down those initiatives into smaller chunks that you can deliver on an iterative basis. So do the most important thing now, get that out in there, and then understand how that is impacting the lives of your consumers and get feedback from them to be able to deliver iteratively, incrementally. Again, create a product backlog, like I said, a customer-centric one that prioritizes all of your initiatives, not just software features, initiatives in this case, based on what is truly valuable to the customer, what is business viable as well, and what's technically feasible. Involve your customers directly. I always have this cliche within my team that says, if you haven't talked to your customers in the last 2 weeks, you're doing the wrong thing. Because you need to implement systems that can actually allow for customer input continuously and that feedback loop in your development cycle, ensuring that your product aligns closely to the customer needs. Plan and replan on a daily basis. It's not just enough to have a year goal plan or a 6-month plan, but you want to start to review those, iteratively. Today, have I done something that's moving us towards our end goal? What can I do differently? What is it that I can do or that I need to change? What is it that I need help with? Plan and replan on a daily basis. Emphasize on continuous improvement, hold regular retrospectives. That's the idea that came into that icebreaker that I gave earlier. You need to take a pause at some point in time, not just going fast and sprinting. Take a pause and conduct those retrospectives to discuss how to improve your processes and even much more importantly, your team dynamics within the organization as well. And encourage open communication. Create an open office environment where team members feel comfortable collaborating and sharing ideas, being innovative. There is this idea about psychological safety. Make it psychologically safe for them to be able to come up with those creative ideas. Agile budgeting and funding. Instead of budgeting annually, implement a rolling forecast and a more flexible funding models that allow for adjustments based on evolving needs of agile projects, and provide access to courses, online, in-class, workshops, seminars on agile, as it is, agility for the organization. Conduct ongoing education because you keep learning. Encourage your employees to attend, this learning initiatives, because it is on top of what you are able to learn, that's what you can build on. If you stop learning, the day you stop learning, that's the day you start dying. The key is to remain adaptable, continuously learn, and keep the customer at the center of all your initiatives. One attendee, I think from Brazil yesterday, asked a question on overcoming all the problems and challenges that organizations face while adopting agile practices. Because, truth be told, a lot of organizations are considering agility today as a shift in mindset, but they face a lot of challenges. Now, what are these and how can we overcome them? Briefly, one is resistance to change. Just encourage that culture that they embrace change, provide that comprehensive training and support. I can't overemphasize that, training and support, and allied the benefits of agility to everyone within the organization. Another challenge is a lack of understanding. Again, training comes into place again. And you need to, at this point, work with Agile coaches and provide accessible resources about Agile. It's important to provide that access to everyone so that they can start to get into the place where they understand what agility is all about. And when they start to understand, that's when they can start to embrace that change. Organizational culture, don't just jump into things straight away and say, yeah, yesterday we are this. Today, starting now, everyone, we are going to start to do this. But you need to start to gradually introduce those practices, from within teams. And then I'll talk about scaling later on. Align Agile with your organizational values and encourage your leadership, engage them to advocate for Agile within the organization, because it all starts from top down. If you start to engage them and let them lead the change from top to bottom, it's going to be a lot easier to overcome that challenge. Which ties into this inadequate support from management. So you need to get to a point where you involve your management in the training and coaching, clear communication channels, and demonstrate the business value of Agile to them. This can be, from simple pilot projects that you can use to demonstrate the benefits so that they can actually see what its value and what it is going to add to their business, adopting this approach. Rigid structures, break down those wall silos, promote cross-functional teams, decentralize decision-making processes, let the people that are doing the work start to make the decisions that is right, because they are the ones that are facing the customers, not you, the CEO that is sitting on the 17th floor on the penthouse. The people that are downstream, that are directly doing the work, start to give them some empowerment, autonomy to make decisions for themselves. Inconsistent process across teams. Again, talks about how you can standardize Agile practices and foster inter-team communication. I've talked about that extensively earlier. And regularly reviewing and aligning your Agile processes. Now, this one is very dear to my heart, where you have, a case of lack of skilled Agile practitioners. You get into some organizations where they want to, bring in some Agile practitioners, and then and a clear example from my experiences, project managers just calling them Scrum Masters all of a sudden because we are now Agile. Without the lack of training and professional development for them to actually understand what it takes to be a Scrum Master for the team. That it's not about project managing, everyday task of the team, but actually serving as a servant to them and supporting them. So recruit experienced Agile practitioners, the right people for the whole. Don't put the round peg in the square hole and expect things to work. And create a mentorship program, even for the junior ones that are trying to, imbibe the culture. They can't get there overnight. So let them seek mentorship, create that mentorship programs where you get people that will mentor them and hold their hands until they get to the point where they can stand on their own. And that's when they can start to now support the entire organization on the journey of scaling and implementing Agile, from small teams to larger teams until, it grows to the entire organization. And also you need to regularly review that and see what works, what doesn't work, what you can improve. And lastly, you need to invest on tools and infrastructure. Agile-friendly tools and infrastructures and technologies are out there. Train the teams on how to effectively use these tools and, get them in a place that they are comfortable with that concept called agility, and they can start to thrive. A case study that I worked on that I just want to quickly touch on, 2 minutes, with NHS in the UK. They were faced with challenges with patient management, patient data management, and inefficient hospital administration process, and this was just during COVID. A lot of things, they were overwhelmed, with COVID cases, and things were just going left, right, and center. And what happened was that they need to actually start to meet the evolving expectations of patients and healthcare professionals in a digitally connected world. Was going to be a lot of real-time data analytics. And what they did was to use a number of Agile practices to aid their digital transformation, to improve their administrative process and patient data management systems. That focused on streamlining, their workflows, how they start to send, real-time COVID data onto the government database that they can use, to make insightful health decision based data management process to support the UK populace on how to manage the COVID pandemic. One thing that they worked on was the NHS application, the mobile app, which was centralized as part of the digital offering. They created an MVP and then iteratively improved it upon their feedback and changing requirements. They now started to add features like, appointment booking, prescription management, and access to medical records, things that were never available digitally before. For you to book an appointment, you have to call, wait on the line and see whether there's going to be any space in the next week or two, which you're unlikely to get. But now you can literally go on your mobile phone, get on the app, and book an appointment at the time of your choice and an hospital of your choice. Get your prescription sent to you. You don't have to call. You get told when it's ready for pickup, or even if you want it delivered to your address. And access to medical records, which was never available to patients before. You can actually access your own medical records that's available, that's the same thing that your doctors and GPs are saying. You know what the information that they have, and you can challenge anything that's wrong in there. And again, what they also did was to use cross-functional teams, clinicians, content creators, designers, development teams working together. I talk about team collaboration to redesign, the NHS UK website and ensure that it was user-friendly and accessible and provided accurate health information reflecting the needs and insights of various stakeholders. Also, one technology practice that they used was continuous integration and deployment. They embraced CI/CD practices to allow their digital teams to frequently update the digital services with new features and security updates, minimizing downtime and improving user experience. They were flexible in terms of response to COVID-19 pandemic using the NHS COVID-19 app and data platforms for tracking the virus spreads, like I said earlier. And the key outcomes were, improved customer experience. The patient experience improved greatly based on user feedback. Their operations were a lot more efficient, and they had a lot more enhanced collaboration. Patient satisfaction scores increased due to faster and more accurate information processes. It didn't really go without its challenges and lessons learned. Of course, they had challenges about scaling and implementing Agile across large and complex organizations as NHS. But, being able to break it down into smaller chunks, they were able to overcome those challenges. And the cultural change as well. You've got nurses, doctors that have been working in NHS for years. The shift in Agile requires a cultural change. And they worked with Agile coaches, mentors, practitioners to be able to get to them to see the benefits and highlight all of those values to them, which broke down a lot of those challenges and enabled them to get on the journey. So to wrap up this morning, I just want to ask that you get your organizations to be in a place to improve their efficiency, engage better with their customers, and get to the point where they can adapt quickly to market changes. There's a lot of synergy between digital transformation and Agile for future success. And organizations that are aiming to thrive in 2024 through digital transformations can actually follow these key strategies. Align your digital goals with your business objectives. Adopt that customer-centric approach where customer is the center of everything that you're doing. Don't ignore emerging technologies. Today we have, machine learning, AI, IoT, blockchain. Determine which technology can best benefit your business processes and customer experiences and go for it. Invest in talent and training. That cannot be overemphasized. When you stop learning, you start to die. Invest in talent and training. Make data-driven decision insights that are based on market trends, customer behavior, and ensure that it's based on data rather than your intuition. It's good to have your gut feelings. They are hypotheses until it's tested, and validated. And foster a culture of innovation and agility. Let your workplace be a place where experimentation is encouraged. People can come up with creative ideas. No idea is stupid. Make it safe for them to try new things and fail. Actually start to look into how you reward people in the workplace. An organization that I know rewards more on failure that leads to learnings that eventually leads to success, a lot more than you just meeting your KPIs for the year. That's what ties into their bonuses for the entire year. And that pretty much blows everyone's mind, and they just go out and want to try new things because they know, yes, it eventually leads to something that we can learn from so that we can start to do the right thing. And you need to also constantly monitor and evolve your practices. monitor, inspect, adapt, and evolve. Thank you very much. I think I've got some time for questions now.
It's a very fantastic presentation. We've been having interaction in chat box. You want to look at some of those comments and, of course, respond on follow the if you into the chat. So
Okay, I'm just trying to go through the comments now. Sorry. Okay. So I'm just commenting it. Okay. All right. Point about mentorship is important. Organization has been working for, do the trading part, and hope for a change. Yeah, it's good to get to a point where you can start to mentor people that are trying to get onto this journey. You can't run away from that. It's like a baby that's learning to walk. At some point in time, you hold their hands and get them to try to walk, do it. When they fall, they learn from that. You hold their hands. It's all about holding their hands through that journey until they start to learn how to walk by themselves. So mentorship is very key. Expect 1 or 2 people and expect them to train the entire organization. Forgetting those few are still learning. There needs to be deliberate intention. Yeah, I agree. Deliberate intention to upskill people, and it's a continuous
Can
thing.
I add to that, Oluwabori? Yeah,
Yes,
what I was
please.
just basically saying there was just the fact that when most organizations start their transformation journey, they just get 1 or 2 people, train them, and now expect those people to train the entire 200 people in the organization. Meanwhile, those guys are just literally flying on the
Like
seat of
babies,
their pants. They are just
babies
babies themselves.
babies
So
training
how do you
babies.
exactly?
Right.
So making a case to management to let them understand that it's not just a one-time journey or a one-time investment in learning. It's a continuous improvement. So as you're scaling your agile efforts, you also need to be bringing the people up so they can
Exactly.
grow along the way.
I think it's pretty much exactly what Amira said here. It's because most times it's about budget management. They're trying to save costs on everything. But what they don't understand is that the cost that you save now will definitely come back to bite you later. So it's better to spend what you need to spend now to be able to get onto that stability point that you can now start to move things forward by yourself. And what I did, they usually use this adoption that's called train the trainers. They come in, get some people within the organization and then train them and expect those to go and train the entire people. But what I was working with Lloyd's Bank, and what they did with that train the trainer method was to also retain the coaches for a certain extended period of time. Even working with those trainers and see how they are working with other people in the organization and providing support for them, as the case may be, until they found, a balancing point, a biting point where they said, yeah, I think you're now good enough to go on your own. And they've supported them to a point where, yeah, the organization can start to now work with those internal training team, essentially. But just training them 2 weeks and then leaving them to go and do the entire agile transformation or organizational transformation, that's a risky thing to do.
Yeah, I agree. Thanks for sharing that.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
I want to
That's all
comment.
that I can see here.
Yes,
Is that
I
all?
want
Yeah.
to comment here. Yes, I want to comment here and capitalize what you said, Olu, that organization that saving budget in the current state, actually, it will pay a lot in the future. As I said, a lot of some companies actually during the transformation journey, when they save a budget to train the whole entire organization, actually they fail to go through in the transformation journey, and the transformation journey absolutely failed and didn't go. So I agree 100 with you that we should invest to train the entire organization and provide them with mentorship program if we are thinking about the success of digital transformation journey. That's it.
Exactly. Yeah. The training should be ideally for the entire organization rather than for a set of people, a select set of people. So
Yes.
as much as you need to do that, you need to do it well. What's what doing at all is what doing well. Do all of that bit. And there is this three, I will say, like factors that I usually use when I'm trying to pitch something to someone. The good,
Yes.
the fast, and the cheap.
Yes.
And the three of them work together. If you want something that is very good and very fast, it cannot come cheap. So if you're looking to save money or save budget or whatever, what you're going to get will either not be good enough, or it's going to be crap, or it's not going to be fast. So for organizations, I tell them, take time to invest in talent, in training, in learning, in workshops and everything. It's a continuous thing. Even though you've learned something today, you'll be much surprised that the agile coaches that you are engaging to coach your organization are learning on a continuous basis. So it will be crucial for you as well as an organization to adopt that approach. Because if you don't, you're just going to end up becoming a dodo eventually. You're going to die, if I may use that word.
Yes, completely agree. Thank you.
So this is where, you need to invest, a lot of, changes, and changes require learning. You want to change people, you need to coach them and tell them why they need to change their ways, and show them why they need to change their ways, hold their hands as well as they go along that change journey. It's a journey, it's not a sprint.
Yes, correct.
I think that's all that I have on the chat. I don't know if anyone else within the audience, if you want to unmute yourself. Otherwise, that's my contact information. If you scan that QR code, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. Yeah, let's pretty much start to enjoy this journey going forward with our organization.
All right. I want to say a big thank you for such a wonderful presentation of Oluwabori. And it was quite interactive. I see a lot of engagement in the chat box. And I want to say a big thank you to all of our participants. I see Carol Aribi saying, thank you so much, Oluwabori. I would like to encourage our delegates to, as much as you can, as you interact through the chat box, you also have the access to your mic. Please use your mic as well. Those interactions help us to drive the thoughts that we intend to communicate. And this is quite impressive. I'm very sure, will the presentation slide be made available?
Yes, yeah. It's available.
Okay, great. Great. All right. Thank you so very much, Mr. Odunaike. And this has been